Hey guys, it's your boy Ocey Phillips here again, and we're back with a new creation. So there's something called combinatorial digital innovation, and I'll give you one of the definitions right down below. But essentially, what it is, it's how do you combine previous technologies to really improve your business in a nutshell. So what I've done is I've created an e-commerce framework, a guide that enterprise or serious e-commerce people could follow, one front end, one back end, and they themselves could understand what they should do, how they should move, how they should plan, how they should strategize their e-commerce for the next coming months, or at least have a framework that they could follow. And if they have to deviate, it will be a little bit. So it's up and filled with current technologies. It would be up on my site to download. So I would drop the information for that. But I'm really excited because, again, nothing like this has ever been done in the region. For so I probably have been done worldwide. But I kind of piece together some stuff based on my experiences. So let's dive into what it is, right? So what is combinatorial digital innovation? It's use of multiple technology functions rather than a single tech stack, and creating business capabilities by intelligently and creatively integrating them. So part of innovation is not necessarily creating something new, but how do we pull the working parts of what is existing, what is beneficial to whatever business model that you have, or whatever digital transformation projects that you're into, what the industry needs, on how you creatively integrate them intelligently so that you can get the best benefit out of it to boost your business. Right? So this framework, what I've done is really and truly for e-commerce, right? Because we know we assume almost everything would go to some form of commerce, whether you're selling a product, a digital asset, a digital product, some sort of this framework would work for you, right? So we're jumping into the front end part one time. So based on the front end framework, it's kind of built between these five parts, right? Digital experience, digital interactions, zero moments of truth, and micro moments. Those are two terms coined by Google based on their research and how people use their platform. And we all know Google is the leading search engine in the world. I think they last check they would have like 92% market share, right? There are stuff like Safari and DuckDuckGo and all these other places that are trying to come up, but right now the market share is there. So think about when last you've used a different search engine. It may not be that much, but we all know Google is the way to go, basically. And last but not least, digital customer experience, right? So this is a digital front end framework that you could use as a guide for your strategy for your platform. And these five parts would get more granular as you get down into it. This also ties in to the digital business model canvas that I created. So after a while, you'll see the more frameworks and the more documents that I drop, how it's intertwined, and how more so your business could use this as a proper guide, right? So we're diving into it here. So digital experience is different from digital customer experience, right? So as digitization becomes a top priority, the elements of digital, of your digital platform, must promote your goal, your business goal, right? Whether it's creating a valuable, memorable experience, right? Or whether it's something that connects and inspires and creates an emotional connection. So whatever your brand voice, whatever you want to communicate, however you want to come across to the customer, the digital experience should cover that, right? And that consists of things like an experience strategy, right? And that now would dive deeper into other things. But then under digital experience, you have things besides experience strategy, you have user experience, you have website design, right? How do your UI, your UX, how do people navigate through your site? They look and feel. Do they feel that same sort of voice or that same sort of comfort as they navigate it, right? Well, how you design your technology, the front end parts, the customer facing parts of it. And basically there's a part of it that has an e-commerce experience, which is different from other experiences, right? So this in itself, your digital experience would cover some parts of it and not tie down to the five or six that I've listed. But they would surround an overall digital experience strategy that you would now have to do, one for your front-facing part of your business, your customer-facing part of your business, right? And then we'll go down to what digital interactions are. So, right? So basically, when you're reimagining your business, you want to leverage your right context and data to transform stuff, right? And you really want to give people an immersive engagement, an immersive interaction, an immersive experience when they connect with your platforms digitally. And this aim is to provide a seamless, basically, hyper-personalized experience, because that's the downside when it comes to scale. When things get too big, personalization kind of becomes a victim. So we kind of want to keep interactions personalized. So everybody who comes to your platform must feel that they have this individual interaction with somebody. What is digital? They must feel like they have that one-on-one when they talk to a manager, a supervisor, a CSR, right? This is how we kind of convert it. So under these things here now, your interactions, under interactions now, that would cascade down to other things like your digital marketing strategy, right? How do you communicate your marketing message over digital mediums, right? The social media strategy, right? We all know social media is different. The mindset you go on TikTok for to consume hours of video is different to how you converse on LinkedIn or how you view LinkedIn. Instagram was mainly for picture and optics, and then that is now changing slowly to become a commerce platform to empower creators, right? Facebook, marketplace, stuff like that. And basically those types of strategy, how do you drill down and get one of these strategies individually for a platform or for every single platform or channel that you're on, right? Do you need influencer marketing? You need to drill down on what type, how you're going to measure influencers, the ones that align with your brand voice, etc., etc. Then you have search engine optimization, which has a part to do with interactions, but then there's a wider part that ties everything else in with each other because it's in the middle. And I'll get to that later. So SEO, right? How do you optimize your digital assets to be there on search engine response page? Whether it's FAQ pages, whether it's video, whether it's long form content, whether it's list facing content, different stuff. Mobile marketing, you have to have a strategy for mobile. So it will be different to other platforms, but mobile, as you can see, a lot of people are home spending more time on their mobile. And when Hootsuite and these people launch their annual report, it'll be beautiful to see next year what this year looks like when it comes to mobile penetration or mobile usage, right? Content marketing, how do you put out content to drive your inbound? How do you educate your customers? Digital PR, branding, and all your concepts and campaigns has to fall under the fact that how are people going to interact with your business digitally? And then you cascade down into those moments. Again, this is in the business model canvas. And sooner or later, we will get to there in the series and we're going to break down all these things by one. So digital experiences in the canvas. All these 4 things, 5 things here are in the canvas, but we're just looking at it from an e-commerce standpoint here right now, right? And then we move on to ZMOT, or what Google calls the zero moment of truth. So zero moment of truth and micro moments has to do with a lot of Google research and data. And they basically tell you how do you reach your customer at certain points, right? And this is really important, especially when you want to sell and the type of products that you sell, right? A lot of people like to look at Amazon and there's different things, but all of those things are built on that, right? In this principle. A lot of people fail to ignore the fact that Amazon has its own search engine, and those search engines work in and around these parameters, right? So, yeah, you could type anything into Amazon and it will almost show up a product. And even if it's unavailable, they will still show you similar products, right? But these moments are what your consumers are looking for. So Google has its own basically funnel from awareness to buy-in, and this is where it comes in. So you have to use this as a guide to how people are going to search to reach your products. Because one of the biggest problems you're going to have is obscurity. People would bypass your products and go directly to Amazon because they can't find you selling something in the exact same country that they're in, right? That is a huge issue. right? And it happens a lot because Amazon has spent money and has already trained the consumer, and they've already built an ecosystem, and they've built consumer habits so that you could continuously drive and come to them. This framework kind of helps you not compete because you have to coexist, but it puts you on a better footing than just saying, hey, let's go with Shopify, let's go with this platform, let's go with this framework. But how are people not finding us? And people default to expensive campaigns like search engine marketing campaigns that they just pay for clicks, right? So this really gives you an in-depth look at how you should position your e-commerce framework, your front-end e-commerce store, whether it's web or mobile. How do you do that? And how do you get that zero moment of truth or micro moments? Right? So zero moment of truth refers to basically the discovery and the awareness stage in the buying cycle when a customer researches a product prior to the seller's knowledge. So your store may be there and a customer may say, all right, you may sell a bottle of water, but the person might not say, hey, where do I find a bottle of water? The person might say, what is the best thing to quench my thirst? Or what is the best thing to drink for headaches, right? Or what is the best thing to wash my car with? And all those questions along the lines, right? How does your brand connect with the customer when they search certain keywords or when they look for things that are supporting your product, right? So in that moment of truth, how does your e-commerce platform, your framework, your marketplace, your store, your app, whatever it is, how does that connect with that customer in that moment of truth, right? And then there's micro moments. Now there's 4 micro moments that Google has coined. I think there's a 5th one. But in the core the core thing, I would break down what these micro moments are and how could you understand what these micro moments are, right? So the micro moments are defined as critical touch points within a customer's journey, right? So it's critical touch points. That's why it's on this side with digital customer experience, because you all know the customer experience has to do with touch points and stuff like that, right? So they're saying, as a marketer, you're supposed to be familiar with the buyer's journey, right? And buyer's journey would differ depending on the platform, the channels that you're using, right? So the concept really is simple and works around how people buy. It may not be directly awareness straight to purchase, or the final one in that funnel, because Google has broken it down into different ones, right? So it break it down, the micros of the moment break it down to which consumers are acting on a need. What is the need that your consumers are having, right? So to learn something, basically, they really want a customer to either to learn something, right, or to do something, or to buy, right? So you start off with the first one, to do something, right, to discover something, which is the second one, what they're really saying, or to watch something, or to buy something, or to learn something, right? So they have those micro moments. It's different moments, right? So you start with the one they call I want to know moment, right? I want to know moment is when somebody is researching but not necessarily in a purchase mode. So is your business, is your brand, is your digital content reaching people when they are researching stuff? They're not necessarily in a purchase mode, but they want to know something, right? How is your platform reacting to that? How is your platform reaching customers when they're researching but they're not necessarily in a purchase mode? Hey, I want to know how this works, or I want to know what is the best thing to fix the background noise when I'm streaming. How do you do that? And that has a lot to do with everything from your product descriptions to your how you optimize your keywords, etc. Right? I want to go moments, right? When somebody's looking for a local business, or somebody say, all right, where do I find phone chargers near me, right? Does your business show up then, right? Is your Google business optimized for location? Is your SEO, are you doing optimized local SEO for keywords and that type of localization? So we're saying when somebody's looking for a local business or is considering buying a product in a nearby place, right? So they may say where to get this, and they may put in the word near me, right? So you might have to optimize your that near me word in your digital marketing campaigns or in terms of keywords and stuff like that, right? I want to do moments. Third one, when someone wants help completing a task or trying something. So you go to Google and you say, I want to do a letter. Does your business show up with a letter template that they could use, a easily downloadable stuff like that? Or is it really difficult that somebody has to try to put in 10,000 pieces of information before they could download a template because you're always eager to try to capture somebody, right? Information. And I want to buy moment when somebody's really making a purchase and they need help deciding what to buy. Again, product descriptions, how do you display, how do you make the buyer's journey easy? Simple things as guest checkout. Everybody wants to try to capture your information and try to resell you something. The truth is that people don't necessarily want to be sold that much, and that is a kind of dishonest or non-transparent way that some people coin it as. You're saying, hey, get this ebook for free, but put in your information. The truth is not for free, because after I get the ebook, you're going to come and sell me, or you're going to use me in an email campaign to try to educate me. But the truth is not for free. I have to pay a price. And that price is me having to opt into something. So it's not necessarily free, right? So those micro moments are things that your brand has to reach, and that all has to do with your digital strategy, right? Your overall digital strategy. And then we have digital customer experience. And really and truly, this is some of the interactions that between a customer and a company, resulting in an impression that the customer walks away with, right? So those interactions could be different, right? They could be with digital customers or non-digital customers, because customers don't look at interactions as digital or non-digital. They just want to find the information in the easiest way, whether they're home, whether they're actually at the place, physical store, whether they're on a mobile, whether they're doing it via voice, whether they're on YouTube. They just only want to find it, right? And under digital customer experience would have stuff like self-service. Is it a place that a customer could kind of just have that headless e-commerce? Customer could come, do everything that's needed without necessarily talking to anybody or having to do part of the transaction online and then wait until they talk to a physical person. And then omni-channel, are they having the same experience across multiple channels? Is it that Facebook is always easier because you have a chatbot on Facebook, but then on the site is more difficult because you don't have a chatbot and you don't have somebody that would respond to questions? Or on your website, you don't have frequently asked questions, and you're not updating the frequently asked questions, right? And basically, everything here is tied in. Every single thing here is tied in with SEO, meaning how do people find you when at these moments? Are you found? Are people aware? Do you show up when you need to show up, right? And it's not just are you showing up, it's how are you showing up. So an example that they have is somebody's looking for a hairstyle to do on a Friday night before they go out. Your business is supposed to give that person, because of the time of their search, they're searching from a mobile, they're searching from a city, and you have metadata from cookies and stuff like that. This person is searching for a hairstyle, but they want to go out later in the night. Do you show them quick DIY hairstyles that they could do at home? Or do you show them, hey, I'm open on Saturday, book an appointment? That's two totally different things. The person doesn't have time to book an appointment to sit down for 3 or 4 hours to get a proper hairstyle done. The person really wants a hairstyle to go out in a short notice, right? So your front end framework or whatever in that zero moment or truth or that micro moment, whether your experience, your interactions, supposed to cover that part of it and be as accurate as possible, right? So for my front end framework, this is the things that are core to people buying, and this would cover your full front end strategy. As I say, you could drill down with other things, and this is a front end framework that covers a strategy part, and below you would see more so from a technical standpoint how the front end and the back end should really be, right? So let's move to the back end part of it. So we're here, and this is really and truly backend system or backend architecture of how it should look from a high level. Um, Again, this is not supposed to be for too long to keep you into the whole granular parts of it, because different, depending if you're business to business or business to consumer, the types of architecture you have will change. But in principle, these are the core things that you may need, give or take a couple ones, right? So you have your front end store, your online store, your front end store, whether it's a mobile store, whether it's a web application, whether it's different forms, right? A web portal, you name it, right? Or you have a mobile app or a mobile version of the front end, right? So web, and we have mobile, because we have to optimize for mobile separately, right? Next, you could come to your e-commerce backend, which is your core backend. So now you could have a front end built on WordPress, and then you could have a backend built on something like Java or a different framework, and you could connect the two. Or you could use a holistic system like Magento or Shopify or BigCommerce or one of the other ones. And you could do that, right? In this back end now, every e-commerce business may not need this, but for enterprise and big and serious companies who wants to have a well-oiled working machine that works 24/7, we need things like a content management system, right? How do you manage your content? How do you manage your products? All these kind of things, right? MarTech and AdTech. MarTech is short for marketing technology. AdTech is short for advertising technology, right? And that AdTech will tie into your marketing strategy and stuff that is under your digital interactions in the front end, right? Content management for the same thing, for your content marketing in the front end that has to deal with your digital interactions, right? How do you do customer management? How do you manage them with their accounts? Do they see previous orders? Do they have to log a ticket? You need a content management system for the backend that helps with your customer experience, two, your overall experience, right? At ERP, you need to know how do you plan every single thing that goes on. You need to have a holistic system to basically manage these things. You have multiple parts. You'll have admins, you may have people pulling and checking orders, you don't have to go to procurement, it may have different levels of systems that need to be connected. And then you would have your analytics, right? Analytics is basically all the data that travels through the store. So you're talking about how long customers stay, conversion rates go right down to bounce rate, go right down to heat maps to see where people come from, how long they spend time, this, and in under analytics, you could target everything. For retargeting campaigns, geo-targeting campaigns, target people in specific locations, show them different prices, show them different deals or seasonal promotions, stuff like that, right? Your payment gateway must be there to process payments and move money to and fro. This is the same for if you have a marketplace. Your payment gateway should have full quick processing, security, should have the option for payment splitting, meaning that if somebody buys from a merchant and then it goes to a third-party logistics provider, the payment should be split here now. Not all the money go to one person and then they're doing that. So 90 goes to one person, 10 goes to the next person in real time, right? Digital asset management would cover if you're looking at stuff like the inventory or any type of other assets that you have that you're looking to sell, and basically a CRM that would detach the back end to the other parts of your business that people could see. Some people use CRMs, HubSpot, Zoho, main ones, popular ones. It depends on your industry. Each CRM is kind of built for a specific industry to add specific value to certain people or to certain businesses, and that's fine. But essentially, your framework should be on or around this as a core foundation. So these two things are basically what your core foundation and framework should look like. As I say, plus or minus different things depending on your industry or if you want to add in different things. But again, this high-level document gets granular because then you could choose multiple payment gateways. You could have multiple MarTech and AdTech places inside there. You could have multiple analytics tools from Google to Hotjar to different tools to enterprise tools also. Salesforce, this, that, go around and do it. It's different backends that you could have if you need to. Also different front ends. If you don't want to go to a mobile app, there are different multiple versions that you could do. So holistically, from an enterprise standpoint, these are the core parts that you should do. And I felt like I should leave this in this state as a core part, because what is going to happen is each industry will require something else, and that is a case by case business. So I don't really want to have to go too granular and make the video too long, because we're trying to talk into to different industries. Because at some point, each industry would go into some form of commerce, whether you're selling digital assets, whether you're selling courses, whether you're selling uh, physical products, whether you have to convert, look at your logistics and your procurement, whether you're opening up new revenue streams, there's some form of commerce that you would have to do. And at least either the back end of this or the front end of this framework would work for what you have to do, right? I'm pretty confident. Right, guys? So thank you for tuning in. I hope this added some value. This exact framework would be up on my website to download. Um, Free, of course, no opt-in, no email addresses. So look out for everything on ocphillips.com, YouTube channel Ocey Phillips, Facebook, LinkedIn, and all platforms Ocey Phillips with a Y. Thank you very much. I hope you like, subscribe, and share. And I hope this adds some kind of value to your life or to your business. And if anything that's needed in terms of further explanation, I'm sure it will be up on my channel in a playlist. Or if not, feel free to reach out to me so that I could help you move your business from one place to another, whether it's using this framework or whether we create a specific framework for your business. Thanks, guys.